Hello, this video is to demonstrate how our eBay integration works with IQ Reseller. The idea behind this integration was to allow IQ users to seamlessly take their available products and seamlessly list those products on eBay. Once a sale occurs, those sale of the items will then populate within IQ Reseller. You can then fulfill those orders and then the quantities will adjust accordingly. First things first, you see here is the login screen for the eBay integration. The eBay integration does take a little bit of time to set up, so you will have to contact support if you are interested in this integration. Once you have, you will come to this login screen. So we'll give you a username and password that you'll then have to enter in here. You'll then click sign in. And by default, we do have multi-factor authentication enabled, which cannot be disabled. New users, once you do put in your multi-factor authentication, it's going to automatically redirect you to your eBay page. From there, you will have to sign into your eBay account in order to link the integration from IQ to eBay. I have already done so because I do have a demo account established, but new users will have to go in and sign into their eBay account. First step that you're going to see here is the dashboard page, where if I click on any of these blue icons, it will take me to my master items. So we are pulling from the master items of IQ Reseller here. The number of items that are listed on eBay, and then all of my IQ Reseller conditions. The reason why we display that is because you do have to map your condition codes to the eBay condition codes as well. Setting up this process, we are going to work from top to bottom here on the left side. So we're going to start in the settings, then we're going to map the condition codes. We're going to jump up to the items here, and then we're going to display the eBay items, and we're actually going to make a sale so you can see that transaction happen as well. So from here, we need to go to settings first, and a couple things that have to happen from settings. First, you're going to see the SO setup, which stands for Sales Order Setup. At this time, you have to select the client vendor code in IQ that you want your eBay orders to display as in IQ Reseller. So here already I have my eBay client vendor code set up. So if I transfer over to the home tab here and I go to client vendor here in the blue bar and go to client vendors, you'll see that I already have a eBay CV code created here. So if I scroll up and select right here, I just double click, you see that I just created a eBay as my ID. The full company name, of course, is eBay Auctions. You can then just put in a default address if you want, or leave it blank. That's completely up to you, because when we do create the sales orders, all of your shipping labels will still come from eBay. You won't be doing your shipping through IQ unless you want to. You do have the ability to do so, but we are pushing the ship to address as a one-time address. This doesn't save here. Going back to the eBay integration. So after you've selected, and you can see it's pulling all of your client vendor codes from your integration. So here we're just going to continue to select on eBay. And then if we look over here to the far right, you're going to see another red asterisk sign. That means it's required. So anywhere you see a red asterisk sign, that means it is required. So here, if you have a rep that you pay commissions on, or is your go-to eBay rep, you will want to select that. If I click this drop down, you will see that it's pulling that entire rep code here. So if I go back to my client vendor list and go to sell and sales orders, I do want to show you how that displays in here. So here's a previous order. If I do open this up just to show you, it is pulling that client ID, and then that rep code brings in by default as well. Going back to the eBay integration, once you have that, you will want to click save. That will then save. You'll get a green indication here that it has saved successfully. Going down here in the eBay listing setup is to set up the shipping service cost that's paid by either the buyer or the seller. You will have to mark that. I'm going to have it set up to be for the buyer for this one, and then that is then saved. We do allow custom templates as well. So if you do have an eBay template that you wish to still display from your eBay store, you can absolutely bring that over here. I can just come here, and if you want to import an image, you just click on the image icon. So you can either choose a file or an image URL, and then click insert, and that will bring in that template right here. So I have one already established. Once you have your text all predefined the way that you like it, that you see here, come down here at the bottom and click save. When you click save, you'll see that it is then saved successfully. And you'll see this template appear when we go and list an item on eBay. Next, we have to map conditions. I already have a couple of them mapped now. So we can come over here and come to the condition code for used. You're going to want to come over here and mark it. Now it is grabbing all of your active condition codes from your IQ Reseller instance, and it's populating here. And then you need to map them to the eBay condition. So that's what you're doing here at this step. So then at this step, you're going to come over here and click on map. We already have used selected, so that's why that's now grayed out. Now we have the eBay condition. So we're going to click this drop down and determine, okay, eBay has a set list of conditions and we need to map it. So used, my IQ condition code is used, so I'm going to map it to used as well. And then down here you can put a condition description. I already have one pre-populated in here called used equipment, so I'm going to use it to populate that. And then click map, and you see that it is then map. You can click over here to edit the mapping, and then you can change the condition code or the description as well. So we're going to hit close on that. All right, now that you have successfully mapped all of your condition codes from IQ Reseller to eBay, and you have gone through all of the system setup, it's time to list an item onto eBay. So what you're going to want to do is come up to items up here in the upper left, which then pulls all of your master items. Now there is some setup that has to be done, and so we're going to walk through listing an item right now. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the search bar over here, and I'm going to type in Apple because there's some Apple product that I want to list. So it's going to load anything that says Apple from my master item list. It's loading that right now. So I'm going to list this Apple MacBook 15-inch laptop. So I'm going to come here and mark it. And then first what I have to do is I have to edit the details. So I have to create the listing. And I'm going to do so by clicking Edit Details. I'm just going to bring this up. Now, this item has already been modified for a listing, so it does save the previous template or the previous listings information, but we're going to come here and modify this a bit. If this wasn't here, it would be blank, and you just go step by step through. So the title right here will be blank, so it's going to be, what do you want the eBay listing title to be? So in this example, I use the item number that's down below, and then I just put Apple MacBook 15.4. And I'm going to add a little bit more to it, and I'm going to put Apple there at the end. And then down here, you're seeing that it's grabbing the item number and then the condition code. And then you have to say, okay, well, what's the eBay category that I want this to be at? So I'm going to come over here and remove that, and I'm going to type in computer. So this is going to pull in all of the categories from eBay, and I'm going to map that over. And I'm going to say, you know what, that didn't work out too well for me last time. So actually this time what I'm going to do is scroll down through here, computers and tablets, and I'm going to list this now as the laptops and netbooks option. So I'm going to go over here and click that. That's going to bring that in there, which added that category for me. Then you're going to come down here and add the quantity that you want to list. So what's the available quantity that you want to list on your listing of eBay? So it's pulling the available quantity from the items activity tab here. So I have 17 available. I'm only going to list one. And then you're going to come over here to price and say, okay, well, what is the price that I want? My cost right now for those 17 is averaging at $530, which is the average cost of those 17. We don't pull the individual cost, we pull the average to display there. So I'm just going to list this at $1. And then what's the dispatch time? So how long does it take for shipping and handling to get this out the door, or your order processing team essentially? And if you don't ever know what these mean, don't worry. All you have to do is then hover over that little help icon, and it explains what that field is referencing. So I'm just going to put it as 1 day. And then the dispatch location, whether it's not required, I'm going to say it's coming from Michigan here. You do have to put a postal code where it's coming from, so it was already there, but I can just retype that in. And then you're going to select the shipping service. Well, the previous listing had United States Postal Parcel, and you know what? I'm going to move this to first class instead. So that's pulling all of the shipping services available that eBay offers. And then you're going to come down here and say the shipping type, I'm going to leave that at a fixed cost. I'm going to charge $1. So it's going to cost $1 to ship it that I'm just going to charge for at that point. So now that I've set up the listing details, we have to add an image. So I'm going to come back to this item. I'm going to mark it. I'm going to click images. Now we already had an image in there. You do have the ability to upload up to seven megs worth of images, which is about 7 files that eBay allows you to list with. So if you ever want to choose those, you just have to come here and choose files, and it just pulls up your computer browser, and you can browse through and select that file type. I'm going to leave the file. If it's ever an image that you don't like, you just come here and click on delete, and it will remove that image. But I'm good with that. So we're going to leave that be. And then we're going to come here and now click this item to list. Since we've now listed an item on eBay, let's come over to the eBay listed items menu. And this is where you can go to update images or edit the details of your listing, which will then populate once you relist it back onto eBay. And you also have the ability to end an item right from the screen. So if you want to be able to update the images for the item that we just listed on eBay, you would come over here and mark the item that you want to update. You can click on images, and this will allow you to re-upload new images or remove images from the item that you just listed. You also have the ability to edit the same details that you just listed here. So for example, you want to come over here and change the item specs. You do have the ability to come over here and change those. And then you do scroll down to the bottom here and you can click map. Those now get mapped. You also have the ability now to relist it since you just made changes. So you would come over here and mark the item and come up to the upper right here and click on relist to eBay, which will then process that new listing, or that updated listing, I should say, to eBay. Now, once you do list an item to eBay, whoever has the eBay account would get an eBay notification sent to their email, and that would look something like this. So you would get an eBay listing that would look like this. You do have the ability then to go view your listing on eBay. So if you just come over here, you'll see that from the eBay store, and let's maximize this window. So this would be your seller hub within eBay, and you can see that here is that item that you just listed. So we can click to view that listing, and here's that image with the dollar amount that we listed as. If we scroll down as well, here is your item description and everything that we just put in here. So it pushes everything through eBay, or right to eBay. Now you do have the ability, if you go back to your seller's page, you can actually remove the listing from here. Or if you want, you have the ability to end the listing from eBay as well. So maybe you no longer want to sell it, and all you have to do is come over here and click end listing. That will then end the listing. And if we go back to eBay and we log into the eBay account, give me 1 second to do that. And if we come over here, you'll see that listing is now gone. So theoretically, you can update all of your items and manage your eBay account for the fundamentals of listing and editing your listing products right from this eBay integration. Now that we have listed an item, as you can see here in front of you, let's acquire this product and pretend that we are a buyer of this product and show you in real time what an order will look like when you go and have somebody purchase an item that you have listed, and what that sales order looks like in IQ for you to then go fulfill and ship that product out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring up a new window here, and this window is your actual listing. So if I scroll down again here, and I see that here is the item description that we created. It was under the IQ Reseller account, and here's the item. So I'm going to come over here now and actually buy this item out. And now that I have acquired this item, let's go over to IQ Reseller and show you what this sales order will now look like in IQ Reseller. All right, we went over to IQ Reseller now. Let's go ahead and refresh the screen here. When I refresh the screen here, you're going to see a new order come in from eBay. So there is my eBay client, eBay auctions for the $2 of the item. You can see on this order, it populated the rep code that we assigned from the eBay integration, and it brought over the client ID. If you come over here to the internal comments, you'll see that it was created by the eBay integration. We also list the item ID number and the eBay order number. And if you look in the description for the sales order from the sales order dashboard page, you will see that we insert the transaction ID number for easy searching for orders that could still be open in IQ Reseller. So let's go ahead and double click and view this order now. And you're going to look and see that it's just like a normal sales order now. So you're going to come in here and you're going to have to process this item just like you would any other item, whether if you're going to walk over and grab that item off the shelf and then reserve it by scanning the IQ Reseller or serial number off the IQ Reseller label and reserve it that way, or going and reserving the item like so right from here. So you can see that we had quantity 2 and that we're just going to go pick and reserve this particular item now. So we will reserve this particular item. That gets reserved. You also see that we push in the dollar amount and then as well as the shipping amount that you charge. So in that order, it was $1 to buy and it was $1 to ship. We do not push the tax over into IQ Reseller. That being said, is because you are going to have all the taxes handled by eBay, so you don't want to bring the taxes over into eBay. Also, you will be printing the shipping label because you will still be using the eBay shipping tool to print your label. You're just using IQ Reseller to handle the order fulfillment and the inventory management part. Once all this is done, you just come over here and click invoice, and then that would close out eBay. Not eBay, but this particular order. And then if you still want to print a packing list and a pick list or any of the other custom critical documents that you may need for this order, you would do so in IQ Reseller. All right, so one of the last things I do want to show is that if you have multiple quantities still listed in eBay, it is not going to close out the listing. So there was available of 2 items that I had listed of the same product. It did deduct the quantity from 1 to 2, or I'm sorry, from 2 to 1. So you can see. All right, so as we come to a close of giving you the step-by-step as we come to a close on showcasing how the eBay integration works with IQ Reseller. All right, so as we come to a close in this tutorial on how the eBay integration with IQ Reseller works to allow you to list your product from IQ Reseller onto eBay, I do want to show you how it does deduct the quantity. If you have a quantity greater than 1, there was 2 items available for this particular listing. It dropped it down to 1, and it now shows that you have the last one available there. If we come back over here to the eBay listing as well, and we go to not items but dashboard, shows that you do have the 1 item now just listed. Okay. As we come to a close, providing this tutorial on how, as we come to a close, on this tutorial on how the eBay integration with IQ Reseller and eBay works and functions, I did want to come back to the listing to show you that the quantity from 2 did get deducted down to 1 because you had an available quantity of 2, and now there's only 1 available of this item. So it does keep track of the quantity that you have listed. Once this quantity hits 0, that listing will then end unless you go and add a greater quantity to the listing from the eBay listed items menu within the integration. I do appreciate you taking the time to watch this tutorial on how this integration works. If you do have any questions regarding the integration, I do ask that you reach out to support or info@iqreseller.com to learn more about this integration. when we were designing this integration, we kept in mind that we need to keep it simple as possible. The likely users that would want to use an integration, something like this, would be listing anywhere from 1 to maybe a couple hundred orders a week on eBay. And it was designed to just to be able to list your product in a seamless manner and be able to have that order get pushed into IQ Reseller so you can fulfill and manage those orders as quickly as possible. Again, if you do have any questions, I kindly ask that you reach out to the support center, and appreciate you for taking the time today to watch this video on how the eBay integration works with IQ Reseller.